Hey guys, it's Tim. Time for a daily rift. I got something new to show you though. I am on my level 70 hardcore wizard. Yes, I have returned to hardcore. It has been a long time. You guys have heard me talk about hardcore every now and again, how it's not really interesting me. Nothing really too exciting about it for me. I used to play hardcore a lot, and then I just stopped when patch 2.0 came out, and then when Reaper Souls came out, I just continued to play softcore. There was really I just did not have a desire to play hardcore at all. The excitement wasn't there for me, the risk wasn't there for me, and to be honest with you, it still isn't. Like, dying is not anything that I'm like afraid of. I've been in a couple tough situations with my wizards so far, and I don't like feel that same rush that I used to on hardcore, so that's not what drove me to hardcore. What drove me to hardcore is, it's kind of dumb, but was item management. I'm kind of excited about building up like a stash of items and using that. Well, that sounds really dumb as I say it too. And like, having like a stash of items that I can keep recycling and using and stuff like that. For some reason, that appealed to me when I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I think that would be fun. I want to try to build up. I was watching like some people stream some hardcore, and I was like looking at their stashes and all the stuff that they would use, and like when they died, they'd go in. Okay, what should I do? I think I'm gonna build this way this time, and so it'll like force me to like play maybe differently, force me to use different items and fun builds and stuff like that. So I don't know. I thought it'd be kind of fun, so I decided to roll up a hardcore character. I made it a wizard, a character that or a class that I have not really played very aggressively in a long time. Ever since actually my very first character in Diablo 3 ever was a wizard, and I have not really played it a ton since then. So that's what I have now. So I'm going to be doing something pretty dangerous. I'm going to be doing a daily rift video while I do a rift on hardcore. Now, you guys have seen me die plenty of times doing daily rift videos, and so let's hope that I don't die doing this. Oh boy, this is a mistake. But I'm just doing Torment 1. Torment 1 has actually been really pretty easy. I finished my wizard actually yesterday. I got it to 70. I'm doing a fire build because I had found a set of mage fists. So that's been going actually pretty well. I'm just using Blizzard with Apocalypse. The reason that I'm using Blizzard with Apocalypse, this is pretty similar to a build that high-end wizards use with the Firebird set, but it does not have the same impact because I don't have the Firebird set. Here, I'll show you just really quickly what I do have. I do have one piece of Firebirds, but the build is actually still pretty good because it's pretty safe. It lets me do damage with the Hydra and Apocalypse, or Blizzard, while I basically can run around and whatnot. Another really important item that I did find, I was really excited about this, is I found the Aether Walker. Not a very good roll. Well, it didn't get that bad of rolls. I mean, I got really high intelligence, really high vitality, so that's really good. But the damage roll on it was really pretty low, and I did have to roll a socket onto it. So, not a very good roll on it with the damage, but it's definitely sufficient for now. Other items, not too exciting, but I found a Talrasha's orb. I did find MVP Chrome's buff bracers. Awesome. Love these things. I was really hoping to find a pair of these really early on, and I did. They did not roll too poorly. They have Arcane on it, which I'll probably end up re-rolling into Fire. But I'm really excited about that. Those are... I knew that I needed buff bracers for hardcore, especially as I got up in Torment difficulty. So, yeah, so let's see. I just got this last night too. But yeah, so far I like this build here. It's not like super damage. I have some problems killing some goblins in Torment 1, so it's not like really good or anything like that. But it's really safe, and so like when I run into something that is a challenge, I can slowly wear them away while keeping myself... Oh, hold on. I got my build wrong. This is what I was doing. I had just done a a bounty, and so I had to change my primary skill. So, all right. So I'm actually using these spectral blades just to increase my fire damage, and that's working okay. I like it because it actually does like some AE damage too, which is pretty useful. But yeah, so far so good. Oh, here, I'll show you my passives too. I'm using Unstable Anomaly, obviously, which I actually think is, this seems to be one of the weakest ones out there. Demon Hunter is a really good one because you get a smoke screen. The Witch Doctor, you go into a spirit mode, whatever it is. And the monks, I keep forgetting what happens to the monk, but something good. All this does is knock back enemies. Now, I had it proc one time very early on. I really thought I was going to lose my character. I ran into, it was like an Act 1 bounty that I was doing, and it was those big hulks, and they had like Frozen, Waller, and like a bunch of other stuff, and they were fast or something. I don't remember, but I can remember thinking to myself, well, this didn't last very long, and then I almost died, but no, I got him. And so my general strategy behind some of the items that I've been using as well is, I better pay attention so I can actually do some damage here. I have been focusing on something that I have not heard a lot of people talk about, and that is life per second. They buffed life per second in 2.1 significantly. And I have a lot of life per second, and so I've not been in danger of really dying because of it. And if I do ever get low, all I have to do is teleport out, which I can always do because I have the Aether Walker, so I don't have a cooldown on my teleport or anything like that. And I just build up with my life per second again. These guys with their shields, man. I hate these guys. Like, he seems like he has extra health, but he doesn't even have extra health. It's just their damn shields. They just don't take any damage. Alright, anyways, back to business here. So I did get one pair of Firebirds, not a very good roll on it, but I do like the life per second, 4,000 on it. I'm running with about almost 30,000 life per second, which is actually pretty significant. I have about 557,000 life. I am using a Galvanizing Ward, which I just kind of wanted to try out. It seems to be okay so far. Blur, obviously. I am using Astral Presence as well, just for like the arcane power per second. Not really too important because I don't really spam a bunch of stuff, and so I had been kind of switching that out, but there aren't really a lot of really good options for fire. Conflagration does not seem very good. I guess I could be wrong, but it just doesn't seem very good. So I don't know. Nothing else really appeals to me on the passive side. I don't need Illusionist because I have the Aether Walker. So, that's just what I'll keep running with, but... Alright, where were we? Killing monsters, that's where we were.
Need more time.
So yeah, the general strategy is you just lay down the blizzard, make sure that you always have it down, which I'm not very good at, and run around like a mad person. But yeah, so like with my life per second, like look at my life just go up here. I'm gonna take some damage. Watch me die as I do this. I'm gonna take some damage from this. Oh shoot. Nope, never mind. Not these. I'm gonna focus on these. Shielding? You guys don't even need shielding. What are you doing? Alright, so the Mammoth Hydra is actually... The Mammoth Hydra, I think, is probably the best damage output Hydra. Because it does 400% weapon damage, I believe, per second when they're standing in the fire. And every other Hydra that I've used just does not seem to do a damn thing on the damage meters. Or not meters, but it just doesn't seem to do any damage. And so I was really disappointed in the Hydras. Really, really quite disappointed. And so I started to use the Mammoth one, and it seems to do a decent amount of damage, especially since I can keep them just standing still a lot of times. It's really good against most Rift Guardians. There are a couple Rift Guardians. Oh, here, I'm going to take some damage here. Come on, take... Alright, just watch my health. It's just like... barely... Look how fast it goes up there, too. So that's actually pretty significant. I'm going to see what I can do to continue my focus on life per second. As I get up into higher torment levels, I can see myself probably having to sacrifice some of it. But I'm going to try my best to keep life per second at a very high amount, just to see if that may be like, that may be the secret for me in hardcore, you know, especially as a wizard. But like whenever I like look at people's hardcore characters, I'm not seeing very much life per second. And that could just be because as you get up in higher torment level and stuff like that, the damage just becomes way too much, and life per second still cannot counteract the damage. Like, that's very possible. Right now, it's fine. I mean, like, the reason that I like the life per second is because it lets me basically ignore a lot of these modifiers, like Thunderstorm, Plagued, a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm using Force Armor, obviously. Kind of a funny story about Force Armor. If you don't know what it does, it's an energy armor rune, where if you would take damage that exceeded 35% of your life, it instead just deals 35% of your life. So like if I have like 550,000 health, right? So if I was going to take something that was like 250,000 damage, it would instead make me take only 35% of my life in damage. Well, I killed something in Molten, right? And Molten is the modifier that does that little explosion on the ground, like once they die. And for some reason, like, I'm an idiot, right? For some reason, I thought to myself, I have Force Armor. I'm gonna like watch this work. Like, I'm just gonna stand in the Molten. Like, why would anyone do that? I don't know why I did that. I'm so dumb. But I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna stand in this Molten so I can see the energy armor with Force Armor work. And little did I know, I had changed the rune so I did not have Force Armor. So I could have lost my character right there. Luckily, oh boy, these guys are doing a lot of damage. Luckily, I had enough health and I did not die. These guys are doing a lot of damage. Oh, it's just the damn Electrified. Man, Electrified just does tons of damage. There's the Molten stuff. Alright, so do not stand in that, but I do have Force Armor now. But yeah, I was so dumb with that. I totally forgot that I changed out my rune. I did not have Force Armor. That would have been so sad if I had died in that Molten explosion by choice. Like, I chose to stand in it. I could have easily moved out of it, but I just said, no, I'm going to stand in it, and I'm going to watch my Force Armor at work. And to my surprise, it did like 50% of my health in damage, and I was like, oh. And then I checked my rune, and I did not have Force Armor. Yeah. So, Torment 1 so far, pretty easy. The damage is actually my biggest downfall right now. I don't do a lot of damage. My survivability, as you can tell, is definitely fine. Watch as I say that as I'm about to die right here, right? Reflects damage, shielding, Nightmarish Waller. Okay, so the other really nice thing is I thought I was going to have to get a pair of illusory boots from Act 2. Because you can use those to actually walk through Waller, and I think Waller is one of the biggest threats because it can get you locked into all sorts of things. It can get you locked into Poison, it can get you locked into Arcane, it can get you locked into Frozen, it can get you locked into all sorts of terrible stuff. And so with the illusory boots, it negates Waller. You can just walk right through Waller. And so I was thinking to myself that those may be the first things that I need to get. But then I found the Aether Walker, and so the Aether Walker actually negates Waller as well, because I can just teleport whenever the hell I want to. And I don't have to worry about it. Why do they even give these guys shielding? That is the last thing that they need. Okay, so Paragon level. There we go. So I'm up to 8.5 million toughness, which I think is more than enough right now. Damage is only 426,000. That is my weakest area right there, by far. That is really what's keeping me from Torment 2, I think. But as soon as I get into Torment 2, I am on to bounties, because I need to get... I still have quite a few rares, and I really need to get a couple good items. I would like to get the Ring of Royal Grandeur, for sure. So as soon as I'm in... Hey, Legendary! Ooh, this could be something for my Templar. This is actually a pretty good weapon for a Templar, because it freezes. 35% weapon damage is... Oh, no, that's not the right thing. Oh, yeah, 23.6% chance to freeze. That's actually pretty useful. So, Templar, use that. Freeze my enemies for me. Alright, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Once I get to Torment 2, bounties, 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 bounties. I want to try to get a pair of Gloves of Worship. I may try a different build if I can get a Gloves of Worship, because then I will not be using the Mage Fists. But it depends on how much damage I'm doing, because right now I'm pretty much depending on those Mage Fists for my damage. The other thing that will be useful is my rings are pretty bad. I need a new amulet, I need a helm, I need all sorts of stuff. Although you can't really get a very good helm from bounties. You can get the Pride's Fall, but that's not really very good for a wizard necessarily. I am trying to gamble up a Cinder Coat, though. That's what I've been trying to gamble. Because if I get a Cinder Coat, I probably will not go for the Gloves of Worship. I'll probably just keep with the Mage Fist and just stick with the Fire build. Alright. So anyways, how I leveled up. I leveled up... I had heard back when 2.1 came out that a lot of people were doing, especially in hardcore, were doing Halls of Agony runs, okay? Now, it's not really my thing to use like a sort of, like a gimmicky sort of thing to like level up like the bounties or anything like that. Or like, you know, like just doing certain bounties over and over like a lot of people did. That's not really, I don't know. That didn't sound very fun to me. But the Halls of Agony one, I was kind of interested, like just running that over and over again to see how fast it was. And so I just decided, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to run Halls of Agony to level up, and I'm going to see how fast I can do this, if it's actually like a legitimately fast way to level up. And it was not very fast. It took me like 11.5 hours or so to level up. And I don't think that's anything special. I probably was not doing it right compared to like what other people were doing. I don't know if, like how high of a Torment level they were on. I bet if you had like 4 people in a group and you were doing like Torment 1 in Halls of Agony just over and over again, it would probably go pretty fast for you. But I was just doing it solo, and it really was not very fast. So it'd probably be a little bit faster if I just stuck with doing like bounties or something like that. But I wanted to try it, and now I know that I probably will not level up that way again. Benefits though to doing it, if you are scared of, like, if you play hardcore and you're really scared of like losing your character, like you really do not want to lose your character, then, especially while you're leveling up, then do Halls of Agony. It is extremely safe, especially if you stay on like the lower difficulties. Like if you stay on like hard or expert or something like that, like you're not going to lose your character. Like it's going to be like hard work to die if you do it, if you just do Halls of Agony runs over and over again. So that is the one benefit. It's extremely safe. There are a lot of monsters, and that's the benefit to doing Halls of Agony, is the monster density is really, really nice in the Halls of Agony. The one downside is if you do it on a little bit harder difficulty like I had been, you do run into some tough monsters. Like you run into like those big Hulk, those spiky Hulk guys, and you know, once you get up to, I don't know, like in the 50s or something like that, then they start spawning with, you know, 4 modifiers or something. So it can actually get somewhat tough. You can run into some tough situations because there are some narrow corridors. I did run into like some Waller, Frozen, Jailer, Arcane type stuff. That can kill you easily. Here we go. We got Molten, Reflex, Teleporter, Frozen Pulse. I tell you, ever since I got the Aether Walker, very few modifiers are a threat. Very few. This Aether Walker is really, really good. Hey, there's a Molten. Let's stand in it and just see if Force Armor works. What a bad way to test that, right? Let's see, I'm on my hardcore character. Does Force Armor work? Well, I better stand in something and see if it works. Put my character at risk, right? But like I was saying at the beginning, I'm not really afraid of dying. I don't really get like a rush when I'm getting close to dying like I used to. It's just kind of, oh crap, I'm about to die. Game over. But part of it is because maybe I'm kind of looking forward to actually starting over too. Not that I don't like the wizard, but that's kind of why I play hardcore then, right? Is so that I get to start over when I die. Not I have to start over, but I get to start over. I think though that when I do lose this character, I will probably just level up. Maybe I'll go through the actual campaign just for fun, because then I can get like all the achievements and stuff too for like the season. If I just go through the campaign, I actually have not been through the campaign in any season right now, in normal or hardcore. Oh yeah, so another reason, if you have not used the Chrome's buff bracers, MVP in hardcore for all eternity, because Vortex, it is completely nullified. Look, these guys have Vortex. Here, I'll stand over here. Wait for the Vortex, you'll see it. Maybe you won't, maybe they'll die to my Mammoth Hydra. Yep, alright, sorry. But you probably saw it there. It actually nullifies Vortex. It nullifies any stuns. It does not nullify Frozen stun, because that I don't think counts as the same thing. But it nullifies knockback. All sorts of stuff that could kill you in hardcore. And so the really nice thing, like a strategy to stay alive, is use items that basically nullify your biggest threats, right? So like, if Waller is like your biggest threat to dying, then get some illusory boots, right? Then fit that into your build. If you hate Frozen and you always die to it and you're so mad about that, then get some, you know, gamble up some Ice Walkers or whatever. There are a lot of different items now that they added to really counteract a lot of that stuff. I wish I could get like a really nice immunity amulet. Like, I think I'd probably go, I don't know, I think the Lightning is probably one of the best ones, just because like Orbiter can do a lot of damage, Electrified can do a lot of damage, and Thunderstorm can do a lot of damage too. I think that all three of those are actually pretty decent sized threats. So I think that amulet is the best. The Arcane amulet I think is probably good, but Arcane, you can play around it so easily. Like, especially as a wizard, right? Like, you just kite them back. Like, you don't have to stand in there. So, like, if you have an Aether Walker like I do, and there's Arcane on the ground, well, then just freaking teleport out of there. Like, it's not a threat. Keystone of Trials. Okay, I've not done a Greater Rift on this character yet. I'll probably hold off until I can do at least Torment 2 before I start doing that stuff. Alright, let's see if I got anything usable. No, not really. Okay. Well, let's gamble up, see if we can get a Cinder Coat, and then I'll let you guys go. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you guys have any suggestions too. How did you guys level up your hardcore characters, if you have them? What was the fastest way that you leveled up your hardcore character? Hey, I got a legendary. I could try to re-roll that with like some life per second on there too. It's not very much better though. That's really disappointing actually. Really disappointing. It doesn't have vitality and 15% life. That kind of sucks. Blech. Blech. I don't really want to waste a Forgotten Soul. I do not have a lot of extra Forgotten Souls to be blowing on frickin' re-rolling crappy legendaries, so I actually only have one. I'm just gonna salvage it. That thing's not very good for me. The effect is kind of cool, but I'm never really that low right now. I can see that being halfway decent, but nope. Nope. Alright guys, there you have it. There's my hardcore character. I'll probably continue to... Did I not have energy armor on for how long? Yeep. I'm going to continue to play my hardcore wizard here, and hopefully I will not be uploading a death video anytime soon, but stay tuned for that. It is inevitable. And have a good one.